Okay. Whew. Sorry about that weird cut. Doing this off the cuff and really soon after I watch the episode, so I'm not really as normally prepared as I normally would be. That was redundant. I remembered his name, Ryan. But let's get back to what I was saying in the last episode. I would justify and I would argue that her being blind is slightly justified by the fact that it would make more sense for Eric, her father, to be more protective and to be able to get away with the mirror thing, as well as keep her from wandering into the mountains, because that would be dangerous if she couldn't see, unless she could rely on his sound and walking. And also, since he has bear traps, he wouldn't want her wandering out and accidentally stepping in a bear trap. That would be pretty goddamn terrible. So I think it makes sense for Anna to be actually blind in this episode, and it doesn't really detract anything. It doesn't make you feel worse for her, or doesn't try to, at least. She seems self-reliant. She seems like any other kid, and I really like that. Another thing I would like to point out to justify this second part is... Sorry about that. Again, had to do a little cut because the first upload of this part is taking a little longer and a little goofier than I expected it would have. I used YouTube's stupid upload mechanic rather than what I'm using for this part, which is my Voice Record Pro. Anyway. So yeah, I really liked Anna's inclusion. I thought Eric was a bit of a 2-bit character. Seemed to be there only because there needed to be somebody to sort of justify them going there, and he was sort of an asshole. Brian was sort of an asshole too about assuming he was a deadbeat dad, but then he was a deadbeat dad in a way, so it was kind of justified. I did feel a little bit gypped with the whole "it takes you away" monster sort of thing, because I kept expecting there to be a monster, but there wasn't really a monster. But overall, as you can obviously tell, I really liked the episode, and I really think it was really great. Probably one of the standouts of this series, which, being the second to last, is kind of oof, I would say. But they're getting into it, sorting their roles. I know there's a lot of drama behind the scenes about Jodie possibly leaving because she wants more time for her kids, but also because she's leaving because of Chris Chibnall, who might be leaving because he doesn't like the way the BBC works. And I don't know the full story, so I'm not going to pretend to hate on Chris Chibnall and be like, "Oh, then why'd you accept the job?" sort of thing. I know there's hints that people are saying he never wanted the job to begin with, so why did he take it? And I think that's wrong. I think he did want it. I just don't think he exactly expected the BBC to act the way they're acting, but I don't know the full story about that, so I'm not even going to comment on it. Overall, I think, from a basis, that this episode really endeared me to the Doctor, really endeared me to Ryan and Graham once again. Finally had the payoff moment when Graham outright says, or when Ryan outright says, "Granddad," and had that moment where I think, in a way, Graham got his closure, but also had to face it in a unique way that most people would never have to face. And I like that. I also like the absurdity of the fact that the polytract, or the solitract rather, just likes frogs, and has never seen a frog, but through the memory of Grace via Graham was intrigued by the form of a frog and liked the shape of it and liked the creature. It really is kind of sad, because it's just a creature that literally can't exist among us, but wants to so bad. It just wants to know what the world is like, what the world could be like, but it can't. It just can't. It's like a fifth dimensional being trying to exist in the three-dimensional world. It just can't happen. And I think that overall that's really sweet and also really tragic, which fits, again, the overall themes I was trying to establish in the last part of this. So, overall, yeah, 7 out of 10. Maybe an 8 on a good day. I definitely want to rewatch this episode in the future, and that's saying something, because there's a very few Doctor Who stories that I really go and really give that thing to. I mean, I like rewatching them, of course, but there's very few that I would like go out of my way to be like, yeah, I want to see that again. Next week is the series finale, and then we're having the New Year's special at the end of the month, and I think overall it's going to be a fun ride no matter what happens. Jodie hasn't had her moment of Doctor yet for me, but she's certainly sold me on being the Doctor. She is definitely the Doctor to me, and I really like that. I am a bit worried that Chibnall doing the series finale, which he probably is. I'm not sure if he is or not, but I really hope that if he is, that the episode goes well.